chicken or the egg? Which came first? What is the answer for this paradox? Before answering, let's look at what's the difference between what is gestation and then egg laying. In a preprint article I posted in 2019 in PeerJ Preprints, uh, I argued that the gestation or egg laying in species it depends on the amount of internal heat generated in digesting the food. What does it mean? All the mammals right now at this time they give birth to gestation. So they all chew the food, whatever the food they are eating. They chew the food into small pieces and digest it. So in that, when the food is broken down into small pieces, the amount of gastrointestinal acids, uh, less amount of acids are required to break down that already broken down pieces into to for digestion. So, on the other hand, when you look at the other egg-laying species, like whether it's birds or crocodiles or snakes, all these they swallow the food as whole. Like so, in that case, there's a lot of gastrointestinal acids are required to break down that whole animal into a molecular level to digest into the body, to absorb into the body. So the difference between mammals and then egg-laying species is that they generate the amount of acids generated in the digestive system is different. Whereas in the mammals it is less, and then in egg-laying species it is more. So when more acid in the digestive system, that generates more heat. So to avoid the heat, the species adapted to egg laying. So that much amount of heat in the internal body cannot sustain, not suitable for the embryo to grow in the uterus. So that's why they basically the egg laying species chose to um, shorten the gestation period to just 1 day and then lay the eggs. So the embryo basically grows outside the body in the egg, um, uh, for the rest of the period. So when you look at the evolution, the basically the birds and reptiles they came they and then present mammals both all came from the mammals as their ancestor. So that's why we see that teeth for their chewing the food into small pieces, the genes still there in the birds, but they are not expressed. So my guess is that like all these birds and mammals, the ancestor to these present day species is still a mammal. So when they split into mammals, mammals remained as mammals in one line of species. The other, when basically probably cannibalized the same species or started eating other species, when they started eating as a whole, like the bugs or insects or other things, as more than it can chew. Like if it is trying to eat more than it can chew, basically it swallows. When it swallows, that requires more acid, and then slowly, when they're doing this, the length of the gestation period slowly decreased in these birds, and finally ended up as egg laying. So that's what my hypothesis I presented in that paper. For an example, a recent paper a couple of years ago, it was found out that depending on the teeth of the ancient panda skulls, some researchers were theorized that they probably were carnivore a while ago. So what I theorized based on that data is that, like at that time, when they were meat eaters, they probably would have chewed it into small pieces, and then definitely that panda a while ago had a longer gestation period. As the time grew, like passed by, now the panda basically it turned out only herbivore, and that too depends on only on the bamboo shoots. So these bamboo shoots are very hard to digest, and also there are less nutrients in this shoots. So panda eats lot of bamboo, and then it requires a lot of gastrointestinal acids. It's almost similar to alligator eating a whole animal, swallowing an animal, eating a whole animal, and generating lot of acids to digest the food. So panda is also doing the same thing right now. Present panda, it's eating a lot of food, lot of bamboo, and then a lot of acids gets generated, and that's why present day panda has very shortened gestation period. That is my hypothesis. So if panda continues to eat like this, and probably in the future it might lay egg, like if it is really eating its habitat, um, the way that it's going to eat, and if the food is less nutrient and it generates more and more acids, the gestation period will shorten even further. That's my hypothesis. So what is the answer to the paradox? Basically, the bird's chicken, the ancestor to the chicken, is a mammal. So mammal, when it is mammal, it was gestation. That's how it gave birth. And then slowly, when they started eating big chunks of food, the gestation period was shortened and finally ended up as an egg. So the answer to the question is, according to my hypothesis, is chicken came first. All right. Thank you.